Bill, we were discussing your experience with shamanism and my non-experience with shamanism and how I'm having difficulty getting into that. You've had extensive experience with it. You've had patients that were benefited by shamanistic moves and endeavors. And I was trying to draw a parallel between it and hypnosis. And you were quite clear in telling me that the hypnotic state is very different from that state that shamanism can arrive at with patients or people. So
right.
Make that distinction between hypnosis, which as I understand is recovering unconscious material, versus what goes on with the shamanism.
The unconscious material that a person will recover under hypnosis is a more enclosed personal thing of mind, soul, within the confines of the body and the information that you might deal with. Whereas the shaman is able to utilize the energy and the psychic forces that unify our entire world, our universe. The shaman's able to pick up living energies from animals and from plants. That's the lady who has the green thumb, that sort of thing. And there are wonderful books written on the emotions that plants react to and have themselves, to either thrive or to lean away from trauma. The shaman, one good example, my shaman friend Donna Elston, and I knew her for years, and what I did with the shamans that I've seen, the ones that I know very personally, I help them adjust from their spirit world and their shamanistic, the benefit they had of dealing with energy forces that you and I don't even consider, to relate them to their social world. The shaman is often a kind of a spirit world sometimes and can't talk about what they actually know, whereas they need to be better socialized with.
Where would you draw a line between that and just psychosis? Where and a distorted thought.
Distorted thought may be psychotic behavior. In other words, unexplained antisocial behavior. Let me give you an example. The niece of my friend Donna Elston, her daughter was in an accident, a car accident, and was in coma. She was in coma for 4 or 5 months in Tulsa, in Joplin, Missouri, just south of here, 150 miles. Donna told me that she was going to journey to this little girl's presence. And sure enough, the next day, this little girl woke up from her coma and told her family and the doctors that she'd had a visit from Donna and had decided that she had more to live for and she was going to go on from here.
That's fascinating.
And Donna actually, without leaving Olathe, Kansas, which was, she lived about 10, 12 miles from here, never left here and journeyed spiritually and contacted the little girl.
The other story you told me that was fascinating a while back was, I won't say her name, but a close relative had some trauma after some surgery procedure, and you contacted a shaman to help you with her. And
refresh me a little better.
And you described that she was all wild and combative.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can talk about it. There's no secret. This is my wife's mother,
right,
Jean, and she's downstairs, age 97.
Right.
Last year, Jean came out of some eye surgery, and she was only anesthetized a very short time. She came back in the afternoon from the surgery in the morning and was completely confused. Like this, panicked, and she was visualizing all sorts of people that were terrible people, and she's a very strict lady, really. And here was these naked people running around, and this person would come and punch her and say things to her, and she walked outside and bumped into the car with her walker and couldn't sleep at night anyhow. So the lady, the eye doctor that took care of her, took this pill and that away, thinking it was medication. No way. Carol had to stay up with her all night. She could not go to sleep because she was persecuted by these people that were all around her. So I'm talking about real hallucination. So the next day, after a terrible night in which Carol stayed up all night so she wouldn't hurt herself, Carol called our friend Jody, which you know and will be here with us for supper tomorrow. Carol told her the story of Mom and her anesthetic, etc. And Jody said, "Oh, yes." Yes, she said, "Yes, I understand." She said, "Don't worry, we'll take care of it." She said, "Just give me 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, I want to tell you, within minutes of 20. Her mother, Jean, you had breakfast with this morning,
All right.
said, "Oh," and she came out of it. She said, "Oh my." She said, "The most wonderful people came to take care of me." She were dressed, and she described their dress. Jody told us that she was sending a group of monks to dispel the negative energies that had entered into Jean at the time of anesthesia when her so-called barriers were down, and created this completely negative, totally disillusioned, highly disorganized way of being. Jean's mother, Jean described to us the monks that Jody told us she was sending in to help her.
That's amazing.
And I was just enthralled because
that's a story you have to listen to. You told it, Carol told it.
Yeah. And Carol's mom can remember to tell you.
And it's inexplicable in ordinary reality.
Exactly.
And
but it's non-ordinary reality.
Right.
And it happened right here in our house with my wife's mother.
You told me also the shaman tend to have somewhat chaotic lives because of their early childhood being often put down for having these visions. Interestingly,
often traumatic, often misplaced in their family sibling area, and always considered a little bit odd because they're dealing in issues that other people call crazy. The daughter, who is now at Brandeis College, the daughter of the director of the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation that I was on their board for 16 years in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That little girl I've known since she was an infant. And all through her life, she has experienced visions of this, that, and the other. A vision in the bedroom, a vision somebody came to talk to her, words that she picked up and couldn't understand. And she and I have talked over the last 18 years of her experience with visions that I knew and she knew were real visions.
That's fascinating.
These are real personages deceased.
It'd be easy to see how they would be labeled as crazy or something in the early childhood.
Yeah.